Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. A 2-year report on the origin of COVID-19 has revealed a bombshell report that federal government funded the gain of function research in to Deep Roots TV. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 corona origin research by the Select Committee has lasted over 2 years. And the Select Committee has concluded that the COVID-19 most likely emerged from a laboratory in Wuhan, China. Imagine that. So all these conspiracy theorists were right. After all, the strongest argument in the favor of a lab leak theory. The virus possessed a biological characteristics that's not found in nature. Data show that the COVID-19 case stems from a single introduced into human. This runs contrary to the previous pandemic multi-spillover event. From the scientists, Wuhan is the home of the China foremost SARS research lab. Yes, it's the Corona Research Lab in Wuhan, China. And this lab has a history of conducting gain of function research at inadequate biosafety level. It also says that the Wuhan Institute of Virology researchers is sticked with a corona-like virus in fall of 2019, months before the COVID-19 was discovered at the wet market. By nearly all measures of science, if there was evidence of a natural origin, the report said they would already have surfaced. Imagine this. So what we're saying is that the United States government, the NIH, with the grant from the United States Department of Human Service, commence their investment in this new technology of what they call gain of function, which they make the virus more contagious to human. The report also says that the Paycheck Protection Plan was taken over by fraudsters. $64 billion of the taxpayers' money were looted. Also, the unemployment claims of $191 billion was taken advantage of. Government unemployment system. Small Business Administration loan also taken advantage for $200 million. Wow. It said there were international fraudsters that were in link into this fraud scheme. The WHO also respond to the COVID-19 pandemic was also an objective failure because they caved to the Chinese Communist parties and placed Chinese political interests ahead of the international duties. Ladies and gentlemen, do you hear what's going on? They said that the social distance 6 feet apart was recommended by Dr. Fauci was a farce because when asked, Dr. Fauci said the guidelines sort of just appear. Masking, social distancing, lockdown prolonged the cause of immeasurable harm to the American economy because it cost 80% of small business to permanently close. Also, they touched on Cuomo's handling of the pandemic and said that Mr. Cuomo and the administration worked to cover up tragic aftermath of the political policies that were done in New York. Ladies and gentlemen, also the Dutch Minister of Health said that the COVID-19 pandemic was a NATO operation. The Ministry of Health in the Dutch government, ladies and gentlemen, has come to this conclusion that the information that is being put out here by the Health Committee is a real travesty, as NATO has have the world under such pressure. The ministry stressed that the government of Europe country respond to the pandemic by fully obligation of NATO. At the same time, Fleur Agmea, which is the Ministry of Health for the Dutch, said that the NCTV policy regarding the pandemic was a coup d'etat. Dutch researcher Cees van die Bois react to the recognition describing CTV as a puppet of NATO. This country will become a free only if the NCTV is completely abolished. Such shadow government will never be able to gain foothold again, he said. Reported by SlaneNews.com. During a pandemic, NATO developed guidelines to respond to COVID-19, which were distributed through the foreign ministry of member state. The article stated it explained why Sweden joined NATO only this year and was the only country in Europe that adhered to a softer policy during the pandemic, according to Flora Agmenta. Both COVID and the current pandemic preparedness is a military operation that has nothing to do with the healthcare in the traditional sense of the word. Imagine that. And right now I know many people gonna jump up and defend the government. NATO is a one world government policy. It's the world order, the new world order, or the one world government. Ladies and gentlemen, a damning report by the Senate Committee on COVID-19. It's been a 2-year research. A report by the COVID Select Committee concluded after a 2-year investigation that COVID-19 most likely emerged from a laboratory in Wuhan, China. Imagine that. Leave your comment on this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rastafari Soldier here of Deep Roots TV. I'm more life and more joy.
Yeah, outside me there. Come on, flash up Jamaica one time. Yeah, see, Island Rose. We're here. Yeah, man, Deep Roots TV. Check them out. They're all over the place.